Hello and welcome to Bognor Regis, Chris's Engage. Apologies for not being on line for a while, but there are reasons. And I think the first thing, it's going to be a short video, I think. And the first thing I want to talk about is why I've not been on here of late. Nothing to worry about, but and I'm not really too sure how to explain it. So if I sound a bit burbled at times, it's part of the cause. A little background about myself. I'm 65 at the beginning of the year. I'm ex-army vet, and when I came out of the army I went in the emergency services and did 30 years in there. Now, as a result of what I've seen over the years, pretty horrific things that you would not want to see in your own worst nightmares, I've got a few issues up there, which is why it's quite hard to talk about. I've been diagnosed with depression. I have high blood pressure. I get very stressed at times, and life throws in curveballs, which is one of the reasons why I'm still working now and have to, or should have to, work to the end of the year. Once my state pension cuts in, I'll be fine. And I had it all planned, but since I've been back at work, it's got very, very busy, extremely stressful for a number of reasons, which I won't remark about. And Mrs. Bognor Regis and my son could see the changes in me, and they could see I was unwell. And they said, "Dad, if you don't do anything about it, we'll get the doctor to see you, or we'll do something." So I saw my doctor, and he signed me off with stress. And of course, related to the stress is my high blood pressure, which is rocketing at the moment, and of course my depression, which has come back with a vengeance. Now, I'm on medication for the depression. I'm not saying it's PTSD, because with things that I've seen in life, I don't have horrific nightmares or flashbacks, and I don't have any recriminations as to, if I'd have got there quicker, because really most of the time you're responding to something that's already happened and you're just picking up the pieces. But picking up the pieces, it can be absolutely horrible. So yeah, I'm not saying it's not played on me. Of course it has. And I think one of the reasons is when I get the depression and not the anxiety, the stress and the anger. I get very angry at times. I'm not going to do anything stupid, but the anger's there. And poor Mrs. Bognor Regis has to suffer with it and pick up the pieces. And one of the ways I've been coping with what I'm going through at the moment is I switch off. I don't want to do anything with my hobbies, particularly my model railway. Don't want to watch YouTube. All I want to do is sleep. It's like my body shuts down. I'll go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. I'll wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning, 12 hours sleep. I'll go and make myself breakfast, and then I'll sit on the sofa with a cup of tea, and then I'll fall asleep again for 2 hours. It's like I don't want to face things, reality, and sleeping's one of the best things that helps me cope with it. The other thing is I watch TV. I watch all manner of rubbish, just so I don't have to think about things. I'm getting a little bit better. I've been off nearly a week now. But one of my worries now is what's in store for me for the future. I've got to see the doctor again on Tuesday, day after bank holiday, and we'll take it from there. But of course, my main worry at the moment, apart from myself and the things that the doctor's organised for me, is my money problems. Now, when I was 65, 2 of my company pensions came through. The reward for getting the money for every year was absolutely pitiful. But if I took it all out in one lump sum, it wasn't too bad, and it was going to be enough for me to do my patio out the back and finish off the loft, full insulation, plasterboard with a roof light, and I would have had plenty left over. But with how I am at the moment and how I'm feeling, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I just don't want to do anything. Even going out and cutting the lawn is just hard work. It's motivation, I suppose. I will get through it. I know I will. but I'm worrying about the money, so all what I've got saved up, I've got to think about for the mortgage and bills and whatever. So that's been put aside, and I'm not going to touch it apart from bills. So it's put a stop to the loft, it's put a stop to anything model railways, more purchases, and of course it's put a stop to the patio. So that's where I'm at the moment. Now, don't worry, because when I first got my lump sum, I did go on a bit of a spending spree, and I bought an awful lot for the model railway, and the next couple of videos I do will show you what I've bought. I have a few questions, quite a few shout outs, and also mucking around with my test track, which walked due to the weather up there. I've got enough old track up there, 30 years old, that I will use to repair it. I will learn soldering and also relaying engaged track, which you can see is quite fiddly. Oh, the other thing as well is my old engine shed here, which I built, is an exact copy of Bognor Regis. I want to redo the roof because I'm not happy with it, and I need to redo this part here because it's not wide enough, it's too thin, it looks stupid and out of proportion. I need to take all of that off and redo that, and then I've got to work out how I'm going to redo the roof, but that is something I will show in a future video, so watch this space. So the first thing is just to show you that it's not done and dusted. I will concentrate on my model railway, and it will not pick up until my state pension comes through, which is March. Now, where I used to live in London, it's a picture of it here. I don't know if you can see it properly, but that is Southampton railway station, and that, I would have been a little boy when that photo was taken. And if you see the row of houses along here, there's a white front there, or white at the back. The next house on, the upstairs flat, is where I lived. And this is what I had to look at every day. Lovely. There was even a third railway track along there, which was the old Ginny, which went to Acton Town, and I remember that. The sidings for the express area there. And where the background of where I come from was quite, well, was very poor. We didn't have much money. I had a loving life, plenty of food, but not enough material things. We had a camera, which you then had to buy a film for, and then you had to send off to get it developed. Both weren't cheap. And of course the camera was only used for high days and holidays, or a little Kodak thing. So one of the things I really regret, or wish I'd done or had, is I wish I'd taken or had the money to take a load more photos of the railway station here, because none of that wooden section exists anymore. It all got burnt down over the years, sadly. The yard here is now a small housing development. The express dairy yard, which is up here, that got burnt down. It shows you the sort of area I lived in. And that's now also the end of the housing estate. Now bear with me and I'll show you another photo of it. Now, I don't know if you can see that very well, but that building there is the express dairy yard, and you've got two lines, one coming in, which is where the milk tankers used to unload there, and of course that was the little yard where they used to keep all the empties, and then they would be collected and they would be taken off and away. Oh, I know why I couldn't move it. It's because of that. Yes, some fuel, some tankers there. Now, I don't think those ones are express dairy ones. I think they were later on used to park up basically oil tankers of some sort. The other thing as well is the express dairy milk wagons. I remember being dark in colour with express dairy on the side, but I couldn't tell you whether it was 4-wheel or 6-wheel. It must have been 6-wheel at that time. But I always thought they were very dark, and the ones that I've got for my layout are light blue. Dark blue. But memories play wonderful tricks on you. But you can see the old railway station. I remember that very, very well. I will be putting these on separately at the end of it, so you can freeze them. The old signal box at the back of my place, where I used to go up there on a Sunday and learn how it worked and operate the levers. All unofficial, but it was very interesting, wonderful. There's another lovely photo there of the Express Stair Yard. You can see it now, and most of the track is down there. There was a little side platform there. Yeah, very fond memories. So that is what I want to model, and I want to definitely include that on my layout. And before you worry that, oh, it's all done and dusted, he'll never get back into it, I can assure you I will, because my last birthday, the family said, what would you like? And I said, well, I'd like some milk wagons, and I'm going to need quite a few. And this links to a shout out, which I'll go to in a minute. So I looked at the ones that were made by Dave Dapple, and I really liked them. So Mrs. Bognor-Regis said, well, I'll get you 3. My son said, I'll get you 3. And my stepdaughter and her partner said, well, we'll get you 1. So when I contacted Dapple, they said, sorry, but they've been discontinued. We've just discontinued them. We have 1 in stock. And I thought, great, lovely. Now, where is it? So I said, okay, you better send me that. So 1 came through the post, and here it is here. Cracking little wagon. Love it. Detail is beautiful. So that was the one I got from Dapple. I then went online to all the shops and whatever, and I ordered another 9 more. Now, out of the 9 that I ordered, I think 2 came through. The rest of them said, sorry, we thought we had them in stock, but we haven't. Now, I then ordered a further 10 from other places, and I think this time 2, 4, 5 only came through. So that now leaves me with 5, 6, 7, 8, still 2 short of 10. So I did a bit more digging, and I found another group of companies, and I ordered another, I think it must have been about 20. So having ordered 20, out of that 20, 3, 6, 8 came through. Out of 20. Unbelievable. And yet they all showed that they had them in stock. I suppose when they went to check the storerooms, they weren't there. So now I ended up with 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I was happy with that, 16. And then Hatton's, bless them, ooh, good month or so later, said, we've just got 4 more. And I thought, well, yeah, they're hard to come by. They're like gold dust now. And I bought them. So I've got another 4. There they are. So what have we got here? 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 wagons. And I'm really chuffed with that. So that goes to show you how much I feel about my layout, and I will do it. Now you might be asking, why has he got 20? And the reason being is that there is a site on here that I follow. If you go to my channels, you'll see 70 odd channels that I follow. 3 of them are nothing to do with model railways, but the rest are people on YouTube that I admire, like, and enjoy watching their videos. So you might ask, why has he bought so many Daypole milk wagons? Which leads me into my first shout out, and that is Mike, and that is his site here, Model Railways Unlimited. Now, not only is it a brilliant site, but every video on there is basically a history lesson. Absolutely fascinating. And one of the videos that he shows on here is 8 months ago, spectacular, Milk for London, the history of milk wagons, etc. Now, having watched that many times and spoken to Mike, I've really got a lot of information from there. Milk wagons tended to come into London 14 loaded, but usually 10. And of course, when they would leave, they would return en masse. Which is the reason why I've got 20 milk wagons, 10 for coming in, and then of course when they're collected, they will be collected by a steam train, pulling 10 empty ones, will go in there, load up with the other 10 and leave, depart back to the farms, whatever. So that'll be 20 in total, and I can always add to that. I might even add the new milk wagons, which are silver in colour with express dairies on the side, but I can add to it, but I've got what I wanted. Now, my first question is the regarding the Pico. Now, sorry, the Daypole. Now, this is, as you appreciate, it's an older model, which is why it's discontinued, but they say all their wagons have got NEM pockets, which I think are great. But of course this one hasn't. Now, I don't know if this is going to show up on there, but I don't know what pocket that is. It's spring loaded, and I'm wondering, is it an LC pocket? I'd like to know, because I can't find anything on there that matches that. And if anyone knows anything more about this with regards to changing them, I'd like maybe to change them to an NEM pocket, or maybe to the Hunt couplings, the magnetic ones, but I'm not too sure. The only reason why I'm thinking of doing that is some of the wagons I've got with those sort of couplings, when they go around my test circuit, or when they did last year, and it's quite a wide angle, it's not sharp, they would disconnect, and I don't know why. And I was wondering whether the other couplings might be better. Going to be expensive, very fiddly, but if anyone knows anything about them, please let me know, or show me a link for a video. But that's my first shout out. Thanks, Mike. Now, my second shout out is to Mark. Site's there, and that's Main Train Eastport. Now, Mark is a fantastic fella. His layout I like. I really like his double O, but I still like it. But if I think I've got issues or problems, they pale into insignificance compared to Mark. Now, since 3 years past, Mark has had over 70 amputations on his hands and his feet. He now has, he won't mind me telling you this because he points it out at the beginning of all his videos. His palms have like stumps, for want of a better word, sticking out, and he's had, I think, both feet amputated, certainly just below the knee. So yeah, 70 amputations, and yet the man is so positive, cheerful, and when we put a point motor in, quite fiddly, it can take us, what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? It can take Mark over 7 hours just to do that, because he can't grip the screwdriver, he gets underneath there, he can't grip it properly, it drops down, he drops things, he picks them up somehow, and he struggles on, but he does it. all he's had done built for him is the staging, and everything else he's done himself. He actually shows you climbing over the layout, putting his back scene on. I've got nothing but admiration for him, but his positive, upbeat manner as he goes about things, and the layout is good. And when you realise, you know, how he has to do it, it's unbelievable. So yeah, Mark of Main Train Esport. If you can all have a look at them, if we can get his subscriptions up way high, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, unbelievable. So my final shout out is to Michael, and Michael's is on here, Chandwell Model Railway. Now, he's given me a lot of advice. We've chatted over the internet. He's helped me out with a few things, and best part about it is his layout's an N-gauge, but it's a cracking N-gauge. He does it on a computer, all these buildings, called Inkscape, way over my head. I can't even get the camera thing on here to work for Zoom or anything like that. So yeah, he's really good, and that system he uses, well, he's just finished the mainline station, and you just got to see it to believe it. It is, I have to say, my favourite of all the channels. He's brilliant. So that's Michael of Chandwell Model Railway, a brilliant site. Now, I won't give a shout out to my mate John from Exhaven Harbour, but I will tell you, John, I got those screws. Thanks a lot, mate. Slightly longer than the ones that you said. I went into our really huge local B&Q, and the aisle was full of boxes of screws, and they were just boxes. They were all empty. I couldn't get over it, and I found 3 boxes with the size but not the length. But the length's not a problem. It just means I've got to screw it in a bit more. And in fact, it might come out better that way. But now it means that I can screw my layout down rather than glue it, so I can get it fully tested like you have, and then eventually get it glued down. That's the problem I've got with my test track. I glued it down, and when it walked, trying to get it up, all that old track has just fallen apart. So with the old new stuff I've got, I'm going to put it down, but I will do it with screws this time. And then I'm going to do a video on that, because I've got a bit of soldering to do, a couple of questions. So on that note, I hope everyone's keeping well. I will keep you updated. I'm all right. I'll get through it. To say, people out there got much worse problems than I have. But the layout is now put back until certainly March of next year. But I will be up there doing fiddly little things, and if things change in the meantime, then I'll spend out on it, but we shall see. So look after yourselves, and keep your videos coming, and I'll see you soon. Thanks very much. Bye.